talk to you. Why are you doing this?
The Council didn't trust me. So how can I trust myself?
What about me? I believed in you. I stood by you.
I know you believe in me, Anakin, and I'm grateful for that. But this isn't about you. I can't stay here any longer. Not now.
The Jedi Order is your life. You can't just throw it away like this. Ahsoka, you are making a mistake.
Maybe. But I have to sort this out on my own. Without the Council. And without you.
I understand. More than you realize. I understand wanting to walk away from the Order.
I know.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Kessel Run Weekly. My name is Danny.
And I'm Kristen.
And we have got some awesome news. So, Episode 9, the cast has been announced.
It has.
Yes.
Yay.
So we know who will be returning, which, I mean, you can't expect Lucasfilm to show all their cards, but they've announced a lot of new and familiar faces. So, obviously, the regular cast of Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Kelly Marie Tran, Eunice Duatamo, and Billy Lord are all going to be returning. So, yeah. So those are all our original cast and everything, so they will be returning. And as well as some new faces. So, an actress, English actress, Naomi Ackie, she has done some work on, like, Doctor Who, some British TV, things like that. So she almost kind of comes from where Daisy Ridley did, where it was kind of a lesser-known career and everything, which is interesting. Another English actor, Richard E. Grant, he's actually been on Game of Thrones.
Oh,
so there's
okay.
that. Apparently, the casting director for Game of Thrones is also working with Star Wars. So a lot of Game of Thrones characters have been appearing in the sequel trilogy, which has been really cool. And Kerry Russell, which we previously reported as a rumor.
Yeah. Holy cow. Isn't that the one people were like, oh my god, it's Rey's mom?
Right, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can't even lie. I didn't even know who this lady was, and I remember you telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Do you see it?
yeah. Yeah, this looks like Rey's mom, guys.
I mean, she looks like she could pass as it, but I almost, like, I don't know, I mean, I know it sounds insensitive and kind of horrible, but I don't care anymore.
I mean, no, I don't either. I mean, we totally talked about that once before, but I mean, just looking, at the pictures and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, they do kind of, favor.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it for sure. Also, and we also have some classic characters returning as well. Yes. So most notably, Mark Hamill, Mr. Luke Skywalker himself. So last we saw grumpy old Luke, he was disappearing off of the Temple Mount on Hawk 2.
He was.
So right. So what do you think we're gonna see as far as Luke Skywalker in this one?
I mean, at this point,
Force Ghost.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I mean, it'd be so silly to like have him evaporate. And leave his clothes behind. I know we kind of joked about it.
You never see him again.
I know we joked about, like, what if he's just off running around naked somewhere? Like,
he teleported off planet. And it's just like, crap. This is not how I thought this was going to work.
So, I mean, it would be really silly to kind of have that ending to that, and then randomly just be like, oh, wait, he's not gone. Plus the fact that that Rey and Leia even had a conversation about it, and they were like, he's gone. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't sadness or
pain. It was peace and purpose.
Purpose, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be so silly to backtrack that and bring him back.
Absolutely. Apparently, there's a rumor that J.J. Abrams is trying to retcon Luke's death, and it's like, no,
please don't.
Like, I mean, I get why some people did not like The Last Jedi. I was not one of those people. I actually enjoyed it. I know you have your trying to think of how to say it. The things that you don't like about The Last Jedi. I'm trying to say it in a positive light. You have the things that you don't like. I mean, and honestly, there's things in every Star Wars movie that you're not going to like. Like, we've been going through the entire saga, and there's things in every single one of them where we're like, okay, that was pretty corny. Or, could have done without that, but...
Why do they do that exactly?
Right.
It's story, guys. It's whatever.
You take it for what it is. You love it because it's Star Wars and because there's a greater story at hand that is amazing and poetic and just a masterpiece.
Right. And also, do you have anything else to say about Luke?
No, you go.
Okay. And also one that I'm pretty excited about that we're getting someone we hadn't seen in a while.
Oh, who is that?
Oh God, what's his name? Oh yeah, Billy D. Williams. Freaking Lando Calrissian. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, holy freaking crap! I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I really enjoyed watching young Lando, and then after we've gone through and watched the movies, I really enjoyed watching technically young Lando then too. Youngish, yeah. Youngish Lando.
Slightly older.
Slightly, but not as young.
Well, and so far, you haven't actually been a fan of Lando. We've only made it to Empire Strikes Back so far.
That's true.
But there's hope. Return of the Jedi is coming soon. So
hope is still with me.
You'll love him. You'll love him, I promise. He redeems himself.
I'm sure.
But I don't know. I've always liked Lando. Like, yes, he's a scoundrel. Yes, he messes up royally, but at the same time, like, in the end, he does make the right decision, and he's kind of got that personality where, like, you just, like, I don't know, you can't really hate him. Like, I mean, what have we here? And everything. Like, I don't know, I just like the character of Lando. I don't know, there's some kind of draw to him that I like. And then Donald Glover obviously, like, amped that up to 11, so... I know you're not sold yet, but still, I'm excited about Billy D coming back.
I'm excited, yeah. I'm really excited about that because I think it's gonna be cool.
Because he's gonna be our ally in the outer rim,
right? And that's what I think is gonna be really exciting is to see him come back and be present into like the now of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm really excited about that.
Absolutely.
And we also have somebody returning that we hadn't seen in a minute. Maz.
Yes, Maz, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes.
Yep. She's going to be there. So, which is cool, because, like, we got hologram Maz in episode 8. Mm-hmm. So, maybe we'll actually get, like, some one-on-one time with Maz. That'll be cool. Maybe find out how she got Luke's lightsaber.
This is true.
So, there we go. I have a feeling that a lot of gaps are going to be wrapped up in episode 9. I have hope that they will be.
Right. Question for you, though. Do we have any thoughts or theories on Richard E. Grant? Like, on who he might be?
So, I don't know much about him. He's been in Game of Thrones. Apparently, he was in Doctor Who as well. By appearance alone, I think he's a First Order officer.
I could see that.
So,
you want to know who he kind of reminds me of? Which I know that I'm going to do it. He kind of reminds me of Tarkin, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
I'm fairly certain they're not going to do that, but, like, just kind of like...
cloned Tarkin. No.
I mean, just kind of looking at him, like... Yeah. He kind of looks like a younger
But he's got
Tarkin.
kind of the look of a First Order officer to me.
He does. No, he definitely
does. That
does.
straight-laced kind of
Watch him
look.
not be, though. Watch him be somebody completely opposite.
Somebody that we really love on the Resistance or something.
Right.
Or maybe he's DJ now. They recast him. No, I'm just kidding. Which, by the way, Todd, our friend at WSTR Media, he pointed out, no DJ or Phasma on the official cast list.
Yes, this is true.
So, I mean... They also didn't announce Frank Oz for Yoda in Episode 8, which would have given away a lot. I loved that reveal that was basically out of nowhere. But that would be cool to kind of see like a surprise Phasma. Even though I'm like over Phasma, I could deal with a ticked off, half beaten to death Phasma coming back for some serious revenge. I wouldn't be mad at it. But it depends on how they do it, though, because I feel like they still have a ton of story to tell in order to add something like that little in there, you know?
Yeah. Also, thought. Mm-hmm. This is kind of backtracking, I'm sorry. What about Thrawn?
Thrawn?
Yeah.
I don't know. He'd be really old by now. Like, really old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean... Yeah. Yeah, he would be very, very old, because he's before Luke and Leia and everything, like, yeah. He'd be old. I mean, we don't know how the Chiss age, so there's that. But that would be cool. That's a goal of mine. I want to see Thrawn live action at some point. That's gotta happen. Like, I would love that. Whether that be in the Rian Johnson trilogy that he's writing, or the Game of Thrones guys trilogy, something like that. Like, I need Thrawn live action. It would be absolutely killer.
I'm just catching up on some Star Wars news. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so additionally too, so they had some really, really big news in this announcement. So previously we didn't think that, actually Kathleen Kennedy directly said that Carrie Fisher would not be involved in 9. Because they weren't going to recreate her, they weren't going to do CGI like they did Tarkin or anything like that.
Right.
They were just going to let her be. And it's something that's been on all fans' minds of how they're going to deal with Carrie's passing, unfortunately. It's not something that any of us want to think about, but at the same time, for the sake of the story, what happens with Leia?
Right. Like, you can't just, like, pretend she never existed. So there's got to be some type of closure. Plus, if there wasn't some type of closure, I feel like it'd be super disrespectful.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree with that. Well, J.J. Abrams actually had something to say in the article, which I thought was really cool. So first off, the article says the role of Leia Organa will once again be played by Carrie Fisher, using previously unreleased footage shot for Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I think is interesting, because there's quite a few things that could go with that. Apparently there was a Resistance super weapon that never made it into the film. The Resistance was going to have a super weapon instead of the First Order, and it was going to be called the Warhammer.
Oh?
Which I think is pretty cool. Nobody knew what it was or anything, but apparently the First Order was going to annihilate it right out of the gate, which would send the Resistance on the run. Okay. So maybe that has something to do with 9? I don't know. It sounds like they had a lot of unreleased footage outside of the deleted scenes that they did release and everything. So, I mean, there's a lot that could go on there. So, I don't know. But, yeah, definitely. But then he goes on to say, J.J. Abrams says, we desperately loved Carrie Fisher. Finding a truly satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga without her eluded us. We were never going to recast or use a CGI character. With the support and blessing from her daughter Billy, we have found a way to honor Carrie's legacy and role as Leia in Episode 9 by using unseen footage we shot together in Episode 7. I think that's really cool and very tasteful and everything.
I think so too. I mean, they're... As sucky and sad as it is, her story has to come to an end.
Absolutely. Well, and this is the thing, is this is the end of the Skywalker saga. She's a Skywalker.
Right. So I mean,
yeah.
Even if it wouldn't have been her, passing first, I think it still would have come along shortly after anyway. Like, I feel like this is probably something I would have, wouldn't have been much longer.
And see, with them using the footage, I kind of doubt that they'll kill off the character at this point. I think that they may let her just be, I don't know. Let her be the sole survivor of the original crew,
Maybe.
So I don't know. I mean, I would be okay with that because it'd make more sense. I mean, she is the rebellion. Like.
But here's my thing about Leia. Leia's not one that's just going to ease out. I feel like Leia's going to go out with a fight. So I almost feel like it's got to be like a sacrificial thing.
See, that would break my heart. I'm not.
I mean, it would break mine too, but I'm just saying.
I've got a year to prepare for it, and I'm still not prepared for it.
When have any of the movies have we ever seen Leia just be like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll just hang out back here"?
Well, so no. What I was thinking is maybe that we restore the Senate or restore the Republic. Something happens where everything is in balance.
She kind of comes out of the war zone essentially and jumps back into
senator or something like that, or the leader of the Republic, or something like that happens. Because I could see her. Because I mean, if there's no more war to fight, then what do you need a general for? You know what I mean?
That's true, but I don't know. That's the thing, is like, I feel like if they do that though, there's still like, they can't keep using footage to bring her back in. Mm-hmm. So
it just depends on how much footage they have, I guess.
That'd be so silly. Would you really want to see her continue on into the next 2-3 movies? Like,
no, that's the thing, is that 9 is the end. Like, that's it. So however they're doing this, they're wrapping up the culmination of 9 movies.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Like, this is the end of the story for the Skywalker saga, which has been 1 through will be 9. So they're ending the Skywalker story as a whole to branch out into other stories and everything.
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is it is in a kind of we'll see area, but I think that the direction that they're going with Carrie, though, is very tasteful. I think that they'll do her justice.
I mean, I think they will too. I mean, I feel
I'm not
like
prepared. My heart is not ready.
I mean, watching. I don't want this to sound like really sad, but I mean, obviously, if she does die on screen, like that's not going to be something everyone wants to watch. But at the same time, like, even though, like, I don't know, it would suck. I feel like, I don't know, like, I just almost feel like that's the way Leia would want to go out, though. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like she's a fighter. Like, I don't feel like I almost feel like her last act is going to be some type of sacrifice thing where she sacrifices herself to something in order for them to get away or something. You know what I mean? Like, she becomes the I don't know. I don't want to, like, say she, like, blows up or anything, but no. I know, I'm sorry.
In The Last Jedi, they almost did that, and it angered me so much.
Me too.
I was so mad at that. I was like, surely they're not doing this.
Me too. Which, I mean, I might be biting my tongue later and saying, oh man, I messed up. I should have done that. But I don't know. Leia's always been in the fight. I just don't see her not being in the fight anymore, really and truly.
I could see that. I could see that. Whatever it is, though, I hope that they do the character and Carrie as an actress justice.
I think they will.
So, yeah. I
think they will.
Absolutely. So cool.
It's a tricky thing. So, we'll see.
And continuing with the news, one more thing. John Williams is coming back to compose for the last time.
I thought he was done already.
No, he's not done yet. He's going to finish out the Skywalker saga, and then he's done.
Okay, I thought some reason you had told me he was... Oh, you said he was going to be done after episode 9, didn't you? Okay, I don't know why. I was like, oh my god, he's leaving us!
Yeah, which, I mean, that's the thing, is I think that even though he'll be done technically, like, composing entire films... I think he'll probably still be around like a consultation kind of capacity because I mean he still helped in Solo. He helped on one of the pieces, so I think it was the main theme or Han's theme or something like that.
Right.
So he still helps. He just won't be there in a full capacity like he has been for will be 9 films.
Right.
So, which I mean he's getting up there in age, so I mean I could get it. Retirement's it's there. So
they can retire tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, but I mean, it's bittersweet. I mean, it's one of those things like you kind of just know that it's coming. That eventually, John Williams isn't gonna do Star Wars anymore, and it's hard to say thinking about it.
It is, but it's
a lot of stuff's coming to an end.
So I'd say all good things have to come to an end. Like it's just how it's got to go. If we want Star Wars to live on, we've got to let the past die.
Oh no!
That was good.
That was good.
No, but you got to let go of it though. Seriously, I mean, we'll still have the movies. We can rewatch them. We can cherish them just like we do the older movies now too. But in order for something new to come along, we have to welcome the newness in.
You're right.
And have something fresh. So, new Jedi. New Sith?
Everything. Hey.
New... I don't know.
Let the past die. The Jedi, the Sith, the Rebellion, the First Order, all of it.
Kill us if you have to.
Kill if you have to.
Kill it all.
No, you're still holding on! Let go! And that's our Kylo impressions for the night.
Oh, I want to watch that one again when he's like, you have to let it
go! No, you're still holding on!
It's like a Snapchat thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So cool. So that actually is our really big news of the week. So a lot of cool Star Wars stuff coming out and everything. Like, it's all in motion. Like, we're about to have Resistance. We've got the Clone Wars is coming back. We've got Episode 9. We've got, in April, Star Wars Celebration Chicago. We've got Galaxy's Edge coming up in 2019. Like, there's so much Star Wars coming our way. It's great to be a Star Wars fan.
It is. I'm pretty excited. I feel like, even though, like, you know, ever since we met, you were like, oh, you gotta be a Star Wars fan before I can marry you. Like, you've got to commit to that first, then I can commit to you. Like,
actual conversation.
No, it wasn't. I feel like I jumped in at a really good time.
I think you did too. There's a lot of it. You missed the dark times, so that's good.
Yay! But I'm sure there'll be more.
No, it's forever.
Okay.
But anyways.
Whatever you say, honey.
All right, so now to move on to our main topic of the week, Ahsoka, the Wrong Jedi.
Ahsoka! What are you doing?
You didn't even try to come and help me.
They wouldn't let me in to talk to you!
You could have if you tried.
How would that look, Ahsoka? Huh? Forcing my way in would have made you look even more guilty.
I'm not guilty.
We have to prove you're innocent. The only way we can do that is by going back.
I don't know who to trust.
Listen, I would never let anyone hurt you, Ahsoka. Never. But you need to come back and make your case to the Council.
No. I'm not going to take the fall for something I didn't do.
I am ordering you to put down your lightsaber and come with me. Now! Trust me.
General Skywalker, where are you?
I do trust you, but you know as well as I do that no one else will believe me. Anakin, you have to trust me now.
So we're talking this week the Wrong Jedi story arc from the Clone Wars, which heavily centers around Ahsoka. It's very, very heartbreaking, like soul-crushing.
Yes, soul crushing was what I was going for there. I think soul crushing did it justice.
Well, since we're into it, what were your thoughts about the 4-episode arc?
I'm angry.
You're angry? Why are you
mad.
angry?
What do you mean, why am I angry? If you hadn't seen it before, go watch it. I'm mad because the Jedi, once again, let down somebody else. They fail everyone, really and truly, when you think about it. I mean, we just talked about our Attack of the Clones, where they didn't even know clones were being built under their noses, with your foggy little brains. Get a hold of yourselves. Which was it, Todd?
Yes.
Todd gave us a nice explanation as to why that was happening, because of Palpatine.
Yes.
Using so much of the Force. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate, but I'm still mad. I'm still a little angry. And then, as we know, they fell Anakin. And then they fell Ahsoka.
Yep.
Like, do you want the Jedi to live on? Obviously, they're trying to extinct themselves. Why even have Order 66 at this point? Just let them do it themselves. They're running their own course. Natural selection, man.
Oh my god.
I'm angry.
I feel you.
I'm so angry. Like, it just, it broke my heart because the whole time, you've got Ahsoka throughout a lot of the Clone Wars, if not the whole thing, honestly. And she's a great little Padawan. They don't even make Anakin anything superior. He I don't think he even has a seat on the council. He just gets to
You'll get to
hang
see that
about.
one next week.
Right. Woo! But he gets Padawan. So they give him the rank of master. Yay. But then they still don't trust the man. Like, and then...
Well, no, he actually doesn't get the rank of master. She calls him master because she's Padawan. He's a Jedi Knight. Because in Revenge of the Sith, spoiler alert, because you'll be watching this next week, they give him a seat on the council, but they don't grant him the rank of master.
I thought when he walked into the temple, though, I thought Palpatine said Master Skywalker.
He does, and it's a respect thing for him having a Padawan as a teacher. It's not an actual rank for him. It's just out of respect for him.
Man, if I had a lightsaber...
That confused me too, because it was like, wait, no, in Revenge of the Sith he doesn't have that.
Like, am I
But it's a respect thing because he has a Padawan learner with him.
Like, am I being bitter that I just want to go chop down all the Jedi myself? Like, now I'm not so mad
I feel
at
like
Anakin.
you're channeling your inner Anakin right now.
I am. Like, I'm not so mad at Anakin anymore for chopping him down. Was that bitter? Is that a little salty?
A little salty.
I'm sorry. This episode just got to me really bad.
well, so it's talking with the story arc. So the whole thing begins with a bombing on the Jedi Temple.
Right.
And everyone's trying to figure out what happened. We got like a CSI Miami droid, Russo. And we're trying to figure out who bombed the temple.
Right.
And how.
Because it's rumored that a Jedi has done it, which oddly spreads very quickly, which is kind of scary when you think about it. Because the Jedi are supposed to be, like, trusted. And, like, I don't know, they're like, supposed to be, like, the happy medium, I feel like.
Well, they're supposed to be the protectors.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not the ones jumping into the middle of stuff, like, starting things, I guess, but they're not I don't know.
Yeah. No, I got you.
They don't start or finish it, I guess. They're just there for protection, like you said.
The mediation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting there. Like, thank you. That's the word I was trying to get. So I was like, the medium.
Yeah.
But people actually, like, when you go to watch this arc, you start realizing that when people start going around thinking it's the Jedi, like, people's, like, you see at one point, I think Ahsoka comes in to that room, and, like, everyone that's, like, right there just kind of, like, gets up and, like, just kind of limps away because they're all hurt from the bombing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh no, we can't trust the Jedi anymore. And it's so crazy how just, like, the word of mouth, like, how something like that can just travel so quickly, and then along with that, how quickly people are to believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like they could have been like, it's Darth Maul, and people would have been running around hiding because they think Darth Maul was hanging out in the temple somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear you, definitely. And that's the thing that I find interesting is that everything that Palpatine set up as far as the Clone War, getting the Jedi involved in the war to where they're generals and not peacekeepers as they're intended, which we'll actually get to that when we find the real culprit in the series. But he does everything he can to tarnish the image of the Jedi to where not everyone looks to them for protection anymore. Not everyone looks to them as the saviors. There's actually, I want to say that it's in, from a certain point of view, I believe, the book. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's stories where, like, depending on what side of it you're on, like the separatist stuff like that, you see the Jedi as, like, these, like, monsters.
right.
Like, these people that have these superhuman abilities that they use to kill and cut down things.
Right.
Because it's not only droids that they fight, and that's what's sad. And so people lost families to the Jedi because they fought on the, quote, wrong side.
Right. Well, that's like one of the other episodes we watched of Clone Wars where Padme Amidala travels to meet a separatist friend.
Yes.
And people there, like, her husband apparently got struck down by a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone there had, like, a tarnished look on the Jedi, and they were not seen as, like, peacekeepers or friends. Like, they were monsters
were absolutely
to them.
the enemy, yeah.
Right. And that's just really sad. I mean, that Palpatine was able to put this whole thing, like, in that kind of perspective, which, I mean, he's doing a really good job because he's obviously made me really mad, too. Like, the Jedi can't see anything.
Because their mind's foggy.
Their mind's foggy. He got the minds all fogged up.
But I mean, it's crazy all the stuff that Palpatine's put in place to tarnish the image of the Jedi, to where even the people who take these exams and, like, these tests to be able to work for the Jedi and work in the temple don't even trust the people that they're working next to anymore. Where it was a long-standing thing where it wasn't a question of loyalty or trust to the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
They were the good guys. But now there's a question.
Right.
And I think that that's really big on the Jedi. And in this episode arc, we see the Jedi Order crack and hard, too.
Oh, yeah. It definitely did. I do think so.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. But it goes through and they think they find who the culprit is. It's the wife of somebody who worked in the temple.
Jairus?
Letta, I think is her name.
Oh, her name's Letta. I thought you were talking about...
his name is like Jack something. I don't know.
I thought it was like Jairus or something. I could be wrong.
Jairus is Kanan Jairus. Wasn't Kanan.
Joke's on me.
He was just a kid. But no. So they think it's the wife of this dude who worked as a maintenance guy in the Jedi Temple because he ended up being the bomb and covered in nanodroids, all that kind of stuff because he ingested them. A lot of weird stuff. And she's like, I was told to do it. And it was a Jedi that told me to do it. When Ahsoka goes to visit her in the very convenient setup of the jail. So what did you think about all of that with Ahsoka in the jail? Like the second that she goes into the jail cell, did you get queasy?
I did.
Like I knew. I was automatically. I was like, yeah, this is a setup.
No, I mean, I totally agree because I don't think I had seen everything, start to finish, but I had seen pieces of these episodes with you, so I kind of had an idea of what was going to go down, and I knew there was a time where Ahsoka went on the run. I knew she left the First Order. Not First Order. That was Finn. My bad. I knew she left. She got expelled from the Jedi.
Kicked out, yeah.
Yeah, essentially, and then she chooses to leave on her own at that point. So I knew things didn't go well.
Yeah.
I knew it. I just didn't remember everything, like, start to finish there, but God, like...
Well, like, and I feel like the clones and everyone are so quick to dismiss all the things that were like, that's kind of convenient. Because, like, there's no audio on the tape. Well, it looks like the audio was shut off on the tape, but you're waving your hands around and you're a Jedi. It's just like, wait, hold on.
I know what I thought
So
about
because
too.
of an audio malfunction, automatically...
Right.
But you said you thought of...
I was like, man, I realized when she had her hands in the air when that was happening, I was like, girl, put your hands down! Like, I knew it wasn't her, but I was like, as a Jedi, I feel like you just need to put your hands down when you're
Your
not
hands
the
are
one.
weapons, woman.
Right. Like, I straight up would put my hands down as quick as I could, like, because ain't no way I'm doing it with my eyes. Like...
Right, and that's the thing is, like, all of it was so convenient, especially when she comes out of there and he's like, we're gonna have to arrest you. He's like, I don't blame you. Which I thought was interesting that he sympathized with. He's like, I don't blame you, but I'm going to have to arrest you.
Right. Like,
and,
oh.
Yeah. And then the series of events, she finds a key card outside of her jail cell after Anakin's trying to get in and everything. She's like, oh, thanks, Anakin.
That made me...
Did you see him? Did you see him walk by? Do you think he would actually want you to break out of a Coruscant jail cell in a military complex?
So, like, I mean, I know that. I mean, it really does seem like it's something Anakin would do. Really and truly, it does. But
what was the end game, though? That was my thing. Is like,
right? No, that was my thought too. Because at this point, I think Anakin's whole mindset is we have to prove her innocence. Because I don't think for 1 second he thought she was guilty at all. But
even when it was like obvious evidence that like he couldn't deny because he wasn't there. Like there was even a moment where he even looks at her like, it's kind of stacking against you.
Right.
I'm on your side. But you gotta give me something.
Right. No, I agree. But at the same time, like, why would he have gotten so close to your door to leave a key, but he didn't
come say
hi?
Yeah.
And
you didn't even see him?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you had no idea, like, he even walked by your door. Even if he didn't walk by, like, do you really think he would have just dropped a key off right there and just left?
Right.
Without coming in?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's that good. I don't think he can really see through walls and, like, drop a key down.
Yeah, and that's my thing is like when she automatically assumed it was her master. So maybe because she's still a kid. I can get the naive side of it. Maybe she was just like, oh, thanks, Anakin.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, Anakin also taught you to think multiple steps ahead. What was the end game?
Right.
So you get out, you're walking out okay. Like they're gonna see you at the front desk and be like, see ya, Commander Tano.
Right.
So that was my thing.
Just
it was
come
like,
back for your court appearance.
Yeah. Like, she wasn't suspicious enough of that to me.
No, I don't think so either. But like you said, she is young. I mean, it does sound like something Anakin would do, but she didn't think it through, and
she acted
came back and bit her in the hiney.
Immediately, when she rounded the corner.
And they were just clone troopers laying there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they were dead or alive, really and truly.
Oh, they were dead.
Those were the ones that were dead?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ones later on were dead.
Mm-mm.
No,
because she does beat up a bunch of them.
Well, I know, but there's some that she comes around another corner and they're all just laying there too.
Yeah. I think there's only one that may have just been knocked out, but there were like 2 or 3 that actually had lightsaber gashes in them, which was another thing, is that, well, no, did she have her, no, she didn't have her sabers when she got out of the cell. So, like, why would you assume that she's the one that killed her?
Right, because she had to drop them off before she even went into the cell with what's her face?
Mm-hmm.
With Letta.
Yeah.
Letta?
Yeah, Letta.
Before she even went in there, she had to drop off her Comcast.
Comlink.
Her comlink.
Yeah.
She had to drop off her comlink and
her internet provider.
And her internet provider, yes. Along with her lightsabers. So by the time they arrest her, obviously, she ain't got no lightsaber.
Right. But there's lightsaber wounds all over these people, and then she rounds the corner heading out for the door. Lo and behold, there's her lightsabers.
Right, just laying there.
It's like they're just laying there, so she picks them up, and it's just like, oh crap. This looks really bad.
Should have left those there.
Right.
I mean, I would have.
Exactly. But I mean, that's the thing is
if
they already
hit him or something. Like, God.
Well, I mean, if they already thought that she was using her lightsabers, I guess it wouldn't have done any good for her to leave them there. It's like, oh look, the murder weapon
with her fingerprints on them. She killed the clones with the lightsaber. Yeah.
But like, all of it was just like. So I get that. Assuming obviously not all the clones know who she is. Very few know who she is. Her battalion, basically. The ones that she fights next to. Cool.
Fox.
I get that. Yeah. Nobody likes Fox. But I don't know, like, there was just so much convenient things that were just so glaring of guilty, 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 even though it was like...
That was the point.
Well, exactly, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I felt like somebody should have questioned it a little bit more, instead of just jumping to, well, you know, Ahsoka lost her mind.
Right.
So obviously she's killed a ton of clones trying to get out of this place.
Right.
You know, she doesn't like being captured. I mean, even Rex was just like, wait, what?
Right.
But I mean, you even see when he calls it in, though. She's killed. He even says she has killed clones, or she's killed troopers.
3 we know of,
something
or something like that.
Yeah, three clones that we know of. She's considered armed and dangerous. Like, even you looked at me like, wait, what the crap, man?
Right. Like, what?
Yeah.
Just leave it alone for now. Like,
Exactly.
like, you
exactly.
know better. Like, you know she didn't do that. Like, I don't know. I totally agree. Like, everything, I mean, obviously everything was pointing in the direction of her, but at some point you would just think, like, man, this evidence is, like, spot on. This is a little too perfect. Like,
Definitely. Like, all the stuff that was stacked up against her just seemed too perfect. Like, it was almost like she was handing it to them. Like, here's a gift. Here's all the things of why I'm guilty. Here you go.
And the thing that kind of bothers me the most, I think, is, you know, she was really mad at Letta once she kind of figured out what happened. But, like, it's not like she just strolled in there herself and was like, oh, I'm here to see Letta. Like, Letta asked for her.
Right.
So, like, did anyone else not find that, like...
Apparently we're not taking that into account.
Like, you think she just walked in there and was like, oh, yeah, I'm here now. I might as well kill you.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Since we're here.
Right. Let me
I
go
mean,
get the
it's
job
on
done.
the way.
Right. I'm gonna stop by anyway. Like, I don't know.
No, and I completely agree. So all of this starts a huge chase where Anakin's like, what the crap? Why are you running? This looks suspicious. All this other kind of stuff. Like, he's just like, I don't get it. What are you doing this for? Stop running.
No, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I see both sides of it, though, because, I mean, like, I totally understand her not wanting to have to, because, I mean, nobody was believing her at that point anyway. Like, there was so much, and she knew it, too. There was so much stacked against her, and it just looked really bad that people wouldn't believe her, and they weren't going to. I mean, when you get to the end, like, they never say guilty, but
it was going
Palpatine,
to be.
it was like an overwhelming
majority vote or something like that.
Something crazy where you just know right then and there, like, they're about to kill her. Like, she's gonna...
Because they were looking for execution.
Right. Yeah, they sure were. And so you just kind of know that that's what's about to happen. But, you know, you just... I don't know. I see both sides of it, though, because she's not wanting to face the consequences on her. She's wanting to prove her innocence because that's just how Ahsoka is. Like, she's wants to be in it. Like, she's not going to want to stand back and just let all this stuff happen to her. So she's trying to get away so she can figure out what's going on. But then you got Anakin who's like, running is not helping, which it doesn't.
You're right. I mean, it makes you look guilty.
It does, because, I mean, she's obviously running, you know, away from everyone who, you know, like, is after her. But, you know, I don't know. It's...
Well, and that's the thing is, so I was just thinking, so say that she had listened to Anakin.
Right.
And didn't run. Just let herself be captured.
Right.
I feel like all it would have done is, like, cut an episode out. Like, it would have just shortened it of what was already inevitably going to happen. Because she even goes so far to, when she ends up getting expelled, like, Anakin's like, you guys have already made your decision. Like, this is bull.
The question is, Padawan Tano, who is deceiving us? Ventress, you, or someone else?
I am not deceiving you. I would assume Ventress is, but I can't be sure. My sense is clouded.
Clouded by the dark side. These things are, Padawan Tano. Dangerously clouded. But not just surrounding you. Surrounding many things in these times.
You've already made your decision, haven't you? This meeting is just a formality!
Reached a decision. We have. Though not in total agreement, are we?
It is the Council's opinion that Padawan Ahsoka Tano has committed sedition against the Republic, and thus, she will be expelled from the Jedi Order.
Seriously?
But here's the thing, too. If she wouldn't have kept going the way she did, she would have never met up with Ventress.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asajj Ventress. She never met up with her. She never would have gotten
added to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Never would have ended up on that weird thing up there. I don't know what she was on, the platform or something.
Fighting the masked person that had Ventress's mask
and then fell into the nanobots.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that would have been a couple things that wouldn't have been stacked against her at that point.
That's true, because if she would have never actually broke out of her cell, then
even
she wouldn't have round the corner and seen the clones. They would have just found the clones and been like, what's going on?
Right.
She's here. Somebody else is doing this.
Right. So, I mean,
that's true.
So there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't have happened to her if she just would have said put. But, I mean...
Well, and it almost kind of feels like they say, like, if you tell one lie, you have to tell another one to cover it up, and then another one, and then another one, and everything. You've got to keep your tracks and everything. So even though she wasn't guilty, it almost... maybe panic, I guess.
Right.
So she's like, cool, keycard, slide, comes around the corner, dead bodies. Oh, crap.
I would have put myself back in my cell.
Right.
Like, you were able to use the Force to slide it out. You might as well get yourself back in there and slide it right back in. Cameras or no cameras, you just whoop whoop. That's the thing that kind of gets me too, is like, did the cameras not work when she left? So the cameras were just like out of order at this point.
Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
all they went by is what people saw.
Right. So
she just ended up in she ended up in bad situations.
Right.
She ended up in places that it was kind of like, well, no one else is here. You have lightsabers.
You're the only person that's even in the 5-mile radius that's capable of this.
Right.
So.
Fox, do you have a lightsaber? I don't have a lightsaber. Do you have a lightsaber? It just makes me
mad. But she is young. And
yeah. Well, and that's what I'm thinking. So maybe it was because, I mean, throughout this arc, she grows a lot.
Oh, yeah. You definitely see it.
This is huge development for her character and everything, and it's masterfully told. I absolutely love the storyline, even though it's, like we said, soul-crushing. I think that's the best way to explain it, too. But, like, I don't know. Like, I guess if she would have never run to begin with, then the evidence wouldn't have stacked against her. It would have literally just been that one-on-one, but I almost kind of feel like the death of Letta would have been enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? But maybe the council wouldn't have been so quick to just say, hey, you might have killed this person with the Force. There's no proof.
Right.
And then it wouldn't have been a court-martial either, because it would have had nothing to do with the military. So, and then Tarkin wouldn't have got his way, and then
Tarkin.
One thing leads to another.
Leave his name out of this.
Oh, this cements the hate of Tarkin was already there.
Oh, it was growing.
This grows the hate of Tarkin.
Oh, it definitely is growing. It's cemented in now, but it was growing.
Such a jerk.
He really is.
He's a horrible person. It's just like, oh my God. Like, you could tell throughout the whole trial that he just, I mean, even when he's talking to the council about having her transferred over to the Republic, making it a military court-martial because there were clones involved and all this other kind of stuff, like, you can tell he just wants her dead.
Right.
Like, he revels in the enjoyment of it. And it's just like, you were twisted.
Right.
You're so screwed
like,
up.
She's still a kid. Are you serious?
Like, calm down, man. We don't even have all the evidence yet. And here you are asking for her execution.
You're going off a video with no sound, sir.
Right. It's just kind of like, I don't know, like, all of the stuff just, I mean, yeah, if she hadn't ever left, then maybe it would have gone different. But at the same time, she was still looking at one murder. And that still could have been enough, at least to expel her.
Right.
So there's the possibility of that. So, I mean, either way she looked at it, I mean, basically it's don't go see Letta.
Pretty much.
That's where it ends.
Don't go see Letta. Quit telling, what's her face?
Barriss.
Barriss. Quit telling Barriss what you're going to do every 2 seconds. God, you just like cemented every bad thing you ever did in your life because you talked to her like 60 times. You called her after return. Hi, Barriss. I'm on this street now. Hi, Barriss. I'm on this street now. Hi, Barriss. We're going here. Hi, Barriss. Over here.
Hey, Barriss. Just wanted to check in.
Hi, Barriss. How are you?
You right. So what did you think of everything with Ahsoka and Ventress? Their whole relationship, I mean, if you can call it that. Their whole little story.
It was interesting. I mean, Ventress never does anything without reason.
Mm-hmm.
Without reason. So I mean, obviously, she's got to have something in it. Like, she's not going to just do something for free. And that's why it was so funny, too, when she first even caught her, because she was like, oh, you're going to make me so much money. Like,
Yep.
I'm either going to make... I think she even tells her she'll make money off her whether she's dead or alive, too. Yeah. But she even says, I can either turn you in here or to here or something like that. She's like, either way, I'm getting paid.
She's a war criminal right now. And so Ahsoka was like, if you turn me into the Republic, then you're going to be turned in, too. She's like, I can just get you to the bondsman. I'll get my money.
Right. That's what it was.
She's like, oh no, honey, I got this.
Right. I knew she said something like that about how she could turn her into there or there, and she would still get paid either way. She's still getting her money.
Yep.
So I thought it was pretty funny, but I mean, I feel like they had a pretty cool relationship.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting, I thought, when Ventress compared her to Ahsoka, when she was like, we're the same. I think she says that to Anakin. Because she's talking about how her and Ahsoka have more in common than you think.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, don't you dare compare yourself to my Padawan!
Mr. Vader over here.
Right. He got really angry.
Oh, yeah, he did. But, like, he says don't compare, but, like, he's not wrong, and she's not wrong.
Right.
So, I mean, there's the thing. Like, Anakin didn't abandon her, but from Ventress's point of view, which is big in the Star Wars, from a certain point of view, I mean... she was abandoned by all intents and purposes. So
technically, Dooku abandoned her.
Yeah,
tried to kill her. Yep. Which I mean, Anakin didn't try to kill her, but
yeah,
but
well, an entire clone battalion tried it first, and then they were like, "No, set it to stun."
Oh my gosh!
Did
yes.
you notice that?
No, I did. I pointed out to you. I was like. After like they shot her a good bit of times, and then I think
they were
Rex
shooting her with
comes
real blaster
right,
bolts.
and then the Rex comes around. Maybe it was Anakin. I can't remember. But somebody was like, "Set him on blaster."
Or the stun. Yeah, the stun.
Yeah, set him on stun.
And that's when the circular ones started coming out.
We want her alive, and then I noticed they were circular, and I was like, "Hold up,
we were shooting to kill. Hold on.
Wait a second. They weren't. They were trying to kill her."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Rude.
Definitely.
Zoom.
But that was cool seeing her try to escape and everything. Which I mean, she ends up escaping. But,
well, yeah, I mean, she's very
Anakin
good.
taught her well.
Anakin did teach her very well.
you see a lot of Anakin moves in there, and a lot of things that.
And then freaking Mace, who was like, I think Anakin might be a little too close to this. He made it a little bit too personal. We don't need Anakin to go help go after Ahsoka with my stupid no, I'm just kidding. I don't think he even says that, but still. He makes me so mad, like I would punch him in the face if I could.
So is it safe to say your least favorite Jedi is Mace Windu?
Used to not be, but yeah, now he is. I don't think I had a least favorite.
I was about to say I didn't think you did either.
No, not until he came along.
Mm-hmm.
He made me really mad.
Like Mace, like all the stuff that Mace does, whether it be intentional or not, like puts Anakin solidly on his path.
He really does. Like it's
and he's the first Jedi he kills. By the way, so,
right? Spoilers.
Or at least helps kill. So yeah.
So we think.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We never saw a body. Just saying.
He may still be out there
nah.
beating and looking for revenge. So
nah. Probably not. But
that would be something. But yeah.
I don't think it'd take this long though. Not unless he.
Well, we got a lot of new prequel era stories coming out, so who
we'll
knows?
See, I guess. We'll see, I guess.
Who knows? But yeah.
But he just he didn't have any hope that Anakin would be able. Which I mean, he doesn't.
No faith in Anakin whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why Obi-Wan was like, whoa. I actually think what you're saying is a negative. Is a positive. Let's get back on track, guys.
Right. I really like Obi-Wan because I had moments with Obi-Wan where I feel like I had a love-hate relationship. Like some things he would do or say, I'd be like, oh, okay, okay, that's okay. And then he would do things too, and I'm like, man, Obi-Wan, you're the one causing Anakin to go down the path he goes to. But towards the end, it's not. Like, it's almost like Obi-Wan's just that dad figure, and he can give that tough love when needed.
He's the one that's still trying to tell him, don't do it, Anakin.
Right.
If anyone had hope for Anakin to the end, it was Obi-Wan.
Right.
Even at the part where I have the high ground, Anakin gets cocky, you underestimate my power, Obi-Wan tells him, don't try it. Please don't do it. Please don't make me do what you're about to make me do. Yeah. And so, even up to the very end, he still doesn't kill him. I mean, yeah, he leaves him to die in a very horrible, horrible way. But at the same time, he let Anakin make his decision.
Right. No, he did.
He's that's what that father figure would do. He would let you make that decision. And that's everything that happens with Anakin.
Right.
Anakin makes those choices himself.
He does.
And it's not necessarily Obi-Wan. I mean, there are things that the Jedi Council does that basically makes Obi-Wan or paints him in a bad light because he's not standing up for Anakin actively or anything like that. So Anakin's just like, oh, you're with them too, and kind of groups them in there too, which is not the case. Like we see throughout this entire arc, Obi-Wan is very slow to speak.
He is.
Like he thinks.
He holds his
a lot.
tongue. Yeah, he'd rather think instead of speak because.
Right.
I mean, he may not.
He's not very reactive.
Right.
More methodical, I guess.
I guess so, because I mean, at this point, you know that even if you're the only one that's like, other than Anakin, that's knows Ahsoka's innocent. It's like, I don't know, like as one voice, like, what really can you do?
Right. Because I mean, that's the thing is exactly like if Obi-Wan would have spoke up and was like, I think this is wrong. No, Obi-Wan was judging the evidence as it was, but he knows Ahsoka's character.
Do you want to follow her out the door?
But that's the thing is like he knows Ahsoka's character. He knows who he has fought beside and who Anakin has essentially raised. And all of that weighted against the evidence. That's why I think he says a lot less in these episodes.
Well, and I don't want to like be mean and compare, but Obi-Wan kind of reminds me of Palpatine a little bit. He likes to play the long game too. I felt like
I can kind of see that. He's more strategic.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's like he's
not manipulative. But
I'm not saying he's like trying to manipulate people. I'm just saying like he's got like, which maybe it's just a Force kind of thing, like Jedi or Sith, where they just have really great patience and they can just wait things out. Because I mean, maybe Obi-Wan kind of knew things to be worked out. I mean, then you see Obi-Wan later in the desert watching Luke for how many years?
A long time,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got some patience.
At least 19 years.
Yeah, so he's got some patience. I mean, I can play the long game. So that's all I mean.
Right,
He can just play the long game. That's all I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like he's scary and mean and evil like Palpatine. I'm just saying like he's got that long game kind of thing.
He's got that patience that because.
It said,
Thanks, Siri.
It said, "Hey Siri, oh shoot, Danny." It said, "Hey, you're mean," and that's what she said. I'm only trying to help you.
That's hilarious.
So I called her mean. She's like, "I'm not trying to help."
You hurt her feelings.
I didn't mean to. I wonder if you can actually hear that on this. Oops. My bad, y'all.
If
That's
it
my
comes
watch.
through, then. But anyways, but back to Obi-Wan. But like, I don't know, like there's times where I want Obi-Wan to jump in and be like, whoa, hold on, guys. But he never makes a knee-jerk reaction where everyone else in the room is.
Right.
Because, like, Mace and Yoda talk about how it will put them at odds against the Republic, like their image and what it's going to make the Jedi look like and the politics of it and everything. And Obi-Wan's just sitting here thinking.
Right.
Like, this is not... Like, you can tell he knows something's not right.
Right.
But he doesn't say something until he knows something.
Right.
And I think that's... I mean, I think that's what makes Obi-Wan the truest Jedi out of all of them, out of even above Yoda, is that he's not one to make a knee-jerk reaction. He's the one...
That's true, because he doesn't know one way or another whether she's guilty or not. I mean, I'm sure he feels in his heart that she's not.
Exactly. He has his feelings, and he knows what he will, but he says it multiple times.
Your feelings. You know them to be true.
Well, and that's the thing that he tells Anakin often, is that your feelings can betray you.
That's true. So maybe he's like, okay... I've got this feeling she's not guilty, but if I try to speak up and honor her and she is guilty, it's going to make me look bad. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily
even a look bad kind of
thing.
Well,
I know, but...
I feel like he's the kind of person that it's, if I don't know, I'm not going to say so. Well, you know? Oh. Well, what did you mean?
That's what I was saying. That's kind of what I meant. I just couldn't get it out like that, but it's
fine. But yeah, so I mean, there were times I was mad at Obi-Wan, but at the same time, it was just kind of like, well, I think he had the most clear and cooler head out of the entire council.
That's true, because, I mean, even though he didn't defend her, he didn't say he was against her. And that was the thing, is if everyone would have not been against her, like, if everyone just would have held their tongue and not thought about themselves, then...
Well, and then there's the other side of it is, though, even though he didn't take a side, does that make him any less guilty in her expulsion?
I don't know.
Because he didn't
it's
really...
hard.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot
it's
of,
a fine
like...
line.
Yeah.
It is. It's a really fine line, because you want to... I mean, I feel like there's no right line, though. I feel like he didn't speak up, so you can view him as being a coward and not speaking up for Ahsoka, but then he could have been the one that was like, no, expel her, and then you sort of been mad at him for trying to expel her. Right. So did he really win in any
In none of those scenarios, he would have been able... Yeah, it would have played out the same way, because just like Anakin said, you guys have already made up your mind.
Right.
This is just formality.
Right.
Like, which is absolutely awful, because it's supposed to be a forum to where she can say her piece and hopefully sway the decision, but it was just straight up, well, we already know what we're going to do. Just bring her in the room. Cool, we've made our decision. Peace out.
Right.
Like, she didn't have the opportunity to defend herself or to even offer the evidence that she brought. Because that's what they were like, okay, well then who? And she tries to explain over and over again. I think it may be Ventress. I don't know how she's involved. Like, she's logical about it. Of, this is what I know, guys. I'm trying to help out the best I can. And they're like, cool, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me the most, too, about that conversation that happens, not like the point where they're expelling her, but right before, is that, I can't remember, is it just one of the random Jedi, or is it actually, Mace that says that, essentially it's going to make them look bad as a Jedi?
I think it's Yoda, actually.
I don't think it is Yoda.
See, I think it was Yoda that actually said something about how it would put them at odds with the Republic. It was either Yoda or Mace. One of those two.
I don't feel like Yoda would have said something like that.
It sounds
though,
like a Mace thing to say, though.
It does, and that's why I'm like,
yeah. I don't know. If you guys know, let us know.
Right. We'll figure it out eventually. I'll go back through and like find it somewhere. But yeah, because was that the last episode, or was that the episode before last?
That was a couple episodes before. No, it was the one before last. Yeah, because you had the bombing, her escape, her expulsion, and then the final one was her trial.
Okay.
So yeah,
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, like we said, if you know, let us know.
Yeah.
But when them trying to say that it'll make them look bad if they support her, essentially, I'm sitting there like, how is supporting one of your own going to make you look bad?
Right. Well, and that's what Anakin brings home in the very final scene is the Jedi Order is your life. So if this is your life, it wasn't the Order that turned their back on him. It was her family.
Right.
The only family she has ever known turned their back on her in her time of need.
Like over something that like was all suspicious anyway.
Right.
Like
there was nothing that was clear about it. Yeah.
She wasn't proven guilty. She wasn't proven that she had done all this. It was all speculation.
Right.
But they were so quick just to be like, we don't want to make anybody else angry. We would rather look like the good guys and just push you away.
Right.
Instead of bringing you closer and saying, no, we know our Jedi. Our Jedi that we have raised since the beginning, or whenever she jumped in. No, I know they're young.
Very, very young.
Yeah, I know they're very young.
Yeah.
So essentially raised, we know and believe that she wouldn't have done this.
So playing devil's advocate, though, like I could see why they wouldn't want to, because that same thing would apply to Count Dooku, and he was a Jedi. You know what I mean? So there are those that do
so
turn.
So many bad apples that turn. It's like
so it can happen, and it has happened.
I know. It's like that
But at the same time, though, like, right. Well, I mean, and at the same time, though, like, it's more of a, at least give her a little bit more benefit of the doubt than that. Because they gave her none whatsoever. They did not try to even see it from her point of view.
They didn't even try to prove her innocence. The only one that was even out there looking was Anakin.
They immediately felt that she was guilty.
Right.
But yeah, but like you said, I mean, Anakin was the only one out there looking and everything. And so, like, I don't know. So let's go ahead and get to the trial.
Okay.
Because I find it interesting that, I mean, obviously Palpatine would oversee it. He's the Chancellor.
Of course he would.
He's the Chancellor.
Yay, Padme.
Yes.
Yay, Padme, for stepping in.
Yes.
Of course she would, though. She loves Ahsoka.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is, like, so it was almost like her family within a family, Anakin and Padme.
We're like her, mom and dad.
Space mom,
like.
space dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Force mom, force dad. Like, exactly.
Right. And so, I mean, I love that Padme still, because, like, even though everything that transpired, where she was expelled from the Order, all that kind of stuff, Like, Padme was still like, you know what? I'm going to prove your innocence.
Right.
I got you. I got your back and everything, which was more than anyone had done for her. Like, Anakin was out looking, and he didn't definitively take one side or the other. There were just times like he would give that look like,
it's just looking really bad.
Tough. Yeah, this looks bad. I'm going to still try to find somebody for you, but this is looking bad.
Right.
But I mean, Padme just straight up was like, I know you're innocent.
Right.
I don't have to see it. I know what's stacked against you. I know you're innocent.
Right.
And she was going to try to give her a fair trial as much as possible, but it's like almost like when you see Tarkin come out the side of that room, like immediately you know this is not going to go well at all. Like Tarkin he's got her nailed. Like that's it.
Right. Makes me really sad that they were so willing to kill someone so innocent over. I mean, I guess after a while you should kill if you. Well, it was presumed that she killed some troops, but like, but death over that was like what? You can go make some more. It's fine.
No.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm sorry. That was a little mean.
You and I need to have a morality talk.
Just kidding. It was just a joke, but still, I was just so mad. Like,
You're right.
it was so, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm just done.
Well, no,
Can't deal.
and that's well, and I agree with you. And that's the thing, because like even in her trial, it felt exactly like how it did when she went before the council, where the decision was already made.
Right.
And so here's the thing that I was thinking of. So I can't remember if it actually says this in any of the future episodes. I want to say that somewhere it does, but I 110% believe that Palpatine was orchestrating that whole thing. Like, even though it ended up being a Jedi that did it and all this other kind of stuff, I feel like he had influence in the whole thing.
You know what? I thought that for a minute, and I actually was going to ask you if we thought Barriss had come up with all these ideas on her own. Like, maybe Palpatine had someone whispering in her ear, trying to be like, you know, even if they weren't friends, maybe just like lunchroom buddies or something. I don't know. When they went to go grab the mail together, I don't know. Maybe they were like, man, like, is this just not weird? Like, I feel like the Jedi used to be peacekeepers, but now we're on the front lines. Like, how crazy, you know, just kind of feeding all this stuff into her, you know, because I almost feel like, which she obviously isn't this because we see it, but at the time, Barriss almost seems like one of those crazy, like, conspiracy theory people who's like, and I don't want to offend anybody, so please, I'm just trying to think of something like 9/11 was staged, you know what I'm saying? Like, there were multiple people that shot JFK, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like
tinfoil hat kind of,
right? And we can't act people around out there. I mean, it's fine to have your own conspiracy theories. Like, I'm not knocking you at all, I swear, because I've got a few of my own. We can chat about them one day if you like. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just in that moment, Barriss seemed like one of those ones that kind of, I feel like,
that paranoia kind of creeps
in.
Like
she was like really paranoid and was like almost kind of buggy. Like, we have seen how we no longer, you know, we're the peacekeepers, we're at the front lines. I don't know her speech though, and it was really powerful, I think, though, too, at the same time, because you know it.
And
you know what I mean?
She wasn't wrong.
She wasn't. That's the thing.
All.
I know. That's what's kind of scary. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
if anything, she saw everything Palpatine was doing.
Right.
I did it because I have come to realize what many people in the Republic have come to realize. That the Jedi are the ones responsible for this war. That we've so lost our way that we have become villains in this conflict. That we are the ones that should be put on trial. All of us! And my attack on the temple was an attack on what the Jedi have become. An army fighting for the dark side. Fallen from the light that we once held so dear. This Republic is failing! It's only a matter of time.
Like, she was the most clear Jedi.
But did she get it on her own?
There's that. It could have been a Fives situation where Palpatine admits everything that he's doing to Fives, and Fives loses his mind.
Right. Well, like I said, because it's been somebody, you know, Palpatine.
Because it immediately makes him look crazy.
Because you can't, like, Palpatine doesn't have little minions running around everywhere. Like, I feel like he does. So, I mean, who's to say that she wasn't talking to somebody else and
there's more than one way to influence somebody as well, putting them in certain situations, orchestrating certain things, which is what Palpatine does to make things happen the way that he wants them to happen.
Yes, and see, and I even thought about it too, actually. You know, I like my notes. But one of the things I was thinking about, I was like, man, I bet Palpatine had a hand in this. And I think he I don't know, like...
Because he's got his teeth in Anakin.
Exactly, and I'm wondering if he saw Ahsoka as a threat.
Or something to push Anakin further.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
which it does.
It does.
It 100% does.
Right. So if he can get, somebody else that he loves, somebody else that he cares for, or something that's important to him out of the picture. Because, you can't, people hadn't tried to kill Padme. And that was failing. No one ever did. So...
She a fighter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, so maybe he turns his eye to Ahsoka and says, maybe not necessarily to kill her, but to just...
Well, he's slowly chipping away at Anakin. Because just as much as there was growth for Ahsoka in this arc, there was for Anakin as well.
Right.
Because even the final part where he's like, don't walk away from this. This is your life. All this other kind of stuff. Before he tells her that I understand. And I said this to you when we were watching this clip before we started recording. He's arguing with himself.
Right.
He's talking to himself. I understand wanting to walk away from the Order because he goes through trying to reason with her. Huh?
Wait, what?
He goes through trying to reason with her and everything. And it's like, this is your life. The Jedi Order is your life. Don't walk away from this.
Yes.
All this other kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, once he finally accepts that this is what's going to happen, he flips. And he's like, I understand.
No,
I understand more than you know wanting to walk away from the Order. And she's like, I know.
And I feel like he's trying to relate too, as in, I've had these thoughts and I have so badly wanted to walk away myself, but, this is my life. That's not something I can easily let go of.
Right. And that's what he was trying to convince her of, is that this is your life.
Right.
This is all you've ever known. This is your life. And so it's almost like he's trying to, reassure himself, pump himself back up.
Right.
With it. Because he's having the same thoughts that she is.
Well, he just got super disappointed by them.
Yeah. And he wants to do the same thing that she is doing right now, but doesn't have the courage to do it because the Jedi Order is his life.
Right.
It's all he's ever known.
Right.
So I think that there's so much power in that just one scene. And so many tears.
And gosh. Oh, and I was going to tell you a minute ago when I just wasn't really making sense what I was saying. I was like, I think the anger is clouding my judgment. This is such a heavy art to me. It just makes me so upset to watch someone we've watched grow just essentially get rocks thrown at her. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong with it, and that no one had her back except
absolutely
a couple, maybe a handful of people, if even 3, the most, I think.
Definitely. Well, and so going from that, so we didn't talk about when the Jedi Order after Barriss reveals herself, gives her that speech and everything. The Jedi Order are like, oh, well, we'll welcome you back.
Oh my!
This was your greatest test, and also never admits any wrong.
Mace again.
Yeah, Plo Koon does. And then I think there's one other Jedi that admits we made a mistake and everything. Mace is like, well, we didn't know it then, but this is your greatest test, and you passed because the Force works in mysterious ways.
I would have Force thrown him out the window.
Anakin does that. Well, no, Palpatine does that for you. So.
But seriously, no.
Well, and we actually got a message from one of our listeners. She or he, I'm not sure. Rebel Scum on Instagram, they said, I truly think Mace's little comments right before she leaves is what solidified her decision to leave. When he said, this was actually your great trial, you could see the WTF look on her face. Honestly, I felt the same way. It's like he personally was refusing to acknowledge that the Jedi were wrong. 110% yes.
120% yes.
Yes, absolutely. Which is something that I think we talked about on the last episode.
Literally.
The arrogance of the Jedi.
Literally, as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm going to punch this TV. I was so mad because I was like, no, you were wrong. Just admit it. You made the biggest mistake that you,
And I felt like that would have meant so much more to Ahsoka.
It would have.
Maybe she had her mind made up. But at that point, to me, if I were in her position, that would have meant more to me saying that you screwed up. And, hey, I love you, come back home kind of thing, then, you know what? This was your greatest trial and you passed. Good job, sport.
Right.
No, you jerk.
Right. Nobody likes to be tested.
Yeah.
No.
It's like, don't
if
do this.
You messed up.
You made a bad call. You made a bad decision, and you exiled me.
Right.
That's exactly what happened.
Right. Like, there was no suspension pending trial.
No.
Like, you completely threw me out before you even knew.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think made me the most angry, too. You know, like we said, like, they just didn't even give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, you could have just suspended her for a little bit or something. Just been like, you have a 7-day suspension until we get this all figured out. Like, I don't know. Like, literally anything but, like,
but just throwing her out the way that Tarkin suggested. Because that's exactly what he said is, go ahead and expel her, and then give her to us.
Right.
And then we'll deal with her. Which, Tarkin goes straight for the death penalty.
Ugh. So angry.
Which is not a surprise, because it's freaking Tarkin, but still.
Right. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad a couple of the Jedi were like, oh man, like, sorry, like, that was stupid of us. We should have never done that.
Right. I think Plo Koon's apology to her broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, little Ahsoka. Like, because he was the one that found her as a child. As a Force-sensitive child. And so he has a deeper relationship than most.
Right.
So he almost understands more of what Anakin's feeling than anybody because they have that bond, and they'll always have that bond, even though attachment's forbidden. But, but still.
I just need to, like, take a picture of that. That was so funny.
But I mean, I honestly felt like his was heartfelt. And then the other was like, yeah, we messed up. And then jerk face Mace Windu, you passed.
This is the test of all tests.
You know what else works in mysterious ways? My fist.
So, how would they explain the next test when she wanted to become a Jedi Knight?
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
don't they...
did this promote her? Like, you come back home, we give you a promotion, and you're good to go.
Right. Like, what would have happened? Like...
It's like, come on.
I know, that just boils my blood. I don't like...
Yeah.
I don't like this whole, like...
But I mean, it reveals even more of what we were talking about. Yeah. It reveals even more about what we were talking about in Attack of the Clones and everything, where it's the arrogance of the Jedi. Like, literally what you said. You could just leave them be, and natural selection will take its place.
It is.
They're eating each other alive.
Really? Ugh. Still so much anger.
Yeah. But yeah. So do you feel like you've gone through some therapy after these episodes now?
I don't know. I feel like I'm just reliving it all over again. Not much therapy to it. God. I'm never going to get over it. It just makes me so mad every time.
Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with the episodes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we know, even though it sucks to watch and it's super soul-crushing, like, it obviously works out good. We see Ahsoka later. She's in Rebels. She's Fulcrum.
Definitely.
So
I honestly feel like walking away from the Order is the best thing she could have ever done.
I agree. I agree, even though it hurts my heart to say it, because I would have so much rather see her. Well, I mean, I guess if she would have stayed, she might have died. Really and truly.
She absolutely would have, yeah.
Because Order 66. So walking away was the best thing she could have done.
So let's theorize. So if she would have stayed, could she have saved Anakin from turning his life over to Palpatine?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Or would she just been another casualty? Because, like, I feel like, because like we said, Palpatine's just taking chips away from him. Like, took Ahsoka out. That's one hurt against the Jedi because he knows what the Jedi did to him. Then one thing after another. They don't grant him the rank of master. They don't trust him. They don't do this. And it's just one thing after another that builds up to that. But if Ahsoka had stayed, could she have helped keep him level?
Honestly, I don't really feel like it would have helped. I mean, I feel like she has a really big influence on Anakin, but I feel like she would have been gotten rid of in a different way. Like we said, I think Palpatine had some master plan there, and I feel like having anyone that could have talked...
So she would have been axed some way.
I think so.
Okay.
I think somehow, like, something else would have happened. I don't think she would have made it that far.
Yeah.
Which,
so she
I mean,
still
would have
been a casualty of Order 66 because she would have been closer to the conflict.
Which, I mean, I guess with the story and the timeline this has all come out, she couldn't stick around anyway.
That's true.
Because she wasn't in the movie with Order 66.
Right.
So,
movie's already been made.
Right. So we can't just really CGI her in at this point.
Well, and there's the other part, so I just thought about, so Mortis. Anakin willingly accepts the dark side, regardless of Ahsoka or Obi-Wan or Padme.
So she's already seen that side.
Yeah.
Of him. So I mean, obviously that's not on her mind either.
Mm-mm.
As she leaves,
but I mean, he accepts it under different circumstances. So I mean, Mortis, it's more of I see what I do, and giving in is how I fix it. Right. Whereas in Revenge of the Sith, it's
I have nothing else to live for.
I have nothing else to live for. I've just made the gravest mistake of my life.
I can't be a Jedi anymore either.
Exactly.
So all the Jedi are dead. Like,
exactly.
well, that's the thing too. Is if he would have tried to stay a Jedi, like, he would have been killed.
Mm-hmm.
So like, to stay alive, like that was your only path.
But I mean, he killed a Jedi.
Well,
so there's that too.
Killed the younglings and stuff.
Well,
too,
even before that, Mace. He helped kill Mace. Yeah.
So either way, like there was no going back.
Right. He came to a point of no return, and he was like, "I have nowhere to go. Right. I have no choice but to join you. Right. This is how this ends." And so at that point, he was just kind of like, "Well, here we go."
So, your adventure begins! Yay! New journey!
Oh my goodness.
I'm building a new me. Sincerely, Darth Vader.
Oh God.
Could you just imagine, like, if that was like a book? Like, Darth Vader's building a new
Dear
me.
Diary.
Darth Vader again. Life on the dark side has been so rough. I don't know anybody's names. I can't see anybody's faces. Because they're all either in hoods or they're in clone helmets.
Yeah, I can't get the smoke smell out of my clothes.
We gotta stop.
Oh God. And that's the end of the episode. I think it's time to stop.
We're getting slightly delirious. Maybe.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Kessel Run Weekly. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us through this crazy journey and everything. Next week, we will be talking Revenge of the Sith. So we're very excited to see the final descent of Darth Vader. Very sad. We're into soul-crushing things now, I guess.
Yeah. We'll give you some more Dear Diary then.
This needs to be like a YouTube short that we do or something.
Oh,
it's happening.
Yeah.
Sithing ain't easy. If you're listening, we'll contact you. But yeah, guys. So if you want to see more of our antics and make sure you don't ever miss an episode, you can follow us on our social media at Kessel Run Weekly on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can visit our website to find everything all in one place. KesselRunWeekly.com. So, guys, if you enjoyed the episode and had as much fun as we did, please leave us an iTunes review. It helps us greatly. We want to make sure that we get out there for everyone to enjoy. Because
if you
can't get enough of positive Star Wars.
Right. If you enjoy it, somebody else that you share it with might enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if they share it, they may have somebody else that enjoy it too.
Tell your friend.
And why are all these awesome people missing out on all of our awesomeness?
So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad, your granddad. I don't know. However far this goes back. Tell all the people. But yeah, so we appreciate you guys listening every week. And thank you all for the lovely, lovely comments that you guys give us each week. We greatly appreciate it. It means so much to us. And so if you're ready, Kristen, let's go ahead and close it out.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for listening. And until next week, my name is Danny.
And I'm Kristen.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.